Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. I have COVID, my family has COVID, we're all at home. But the thing is, before we go into this video, I want you to answer one simple question. Would you start a business knowing that when you have COVID, when you feel really bad, but you have a team who relies on you, have a product, would you have enough motivation to actually stand up, dress up, put your makeup on, and go and hustle in your business? Because when we see entrepreneurs, we get inspired by this fancy lifestyle, Maybach with a driver, going to a party. But this is 1% of your time. 99% of your time is actual work. 10% of your time, well, this is based on my experience, 10% of the time, you don't want to do anything. You just want to be in bed. I consider YouTube my business, and I love it so much. I don't want to miss a week without an upload. So whenever I want to start something new, I ask myself, would I have the same passion as I have for this channel? Would I get out of my bed with COVID, take my camera, and create content? If yes, then that business is for me. And if you just said yes, then continue watching this video. We're gonna talk about starting a business in 2022. Let's do it. And let's go to my studio because it will be a lot easier for me to sit down. I actually feel okay. And it's not like I feel that bad. I don't have fever or anything. It's just this general weakness. I don't know. If I didn't have this video to upload, if I wasn't so passionate about this channel, I would just stay in bed. But because I like it so much, I'm gonna make it. Okay, let's continue talking about business. By the way, YouTube is something that I dedicate a lot of my time to. I have a 7-people team for my videos and also have a 10-people team for my YouTube school. And we also have 60 people at LinguaTrip. But with LinguaTrip, the situation is a little bit different. I was really active when we just started the company, and I was really active in the first, I would say, 9 years of the business. In the past 2 years, I think we've built a great team so that I don't have to be as much involved as I used to be. And I think this is the goal with any business. It's really important right from the start to remember that when you're starting a business, you're an entrepreneur, not a manager. This is something that took me years to learn. Because I was like, okay, if I start a business, I would need to hire people myself. I would need to manage everything myself. I would need to do this, and that. But in reality, if we ask Jeff Bezos, hey Jeff, do you file your business taxes yourself, or do you hire every single person yourself? He would say, of course not, because if you do that, you can't focus on the strategy. But this is what happens in the long run. So at the beginning, you have to be ready to do almost everything for your business. But I want you to remember that in the first years, you would need to learn how to make this transition from managing everything yourself to actually hiring talented folks to do what you're not that good at so you can focus on the strategy. Now, I know a lot of people who are like, okay, I'm leaving my company, bye boss, I'm gonna start my own business now. And then a year later, they're like, okay, I actually need that health insurance. Is there a place for me to come back to the company? I know those people. And the thing is, I totally understand, because you think, oh, in order to start a business, I need to have this free time to think about the business idea. I need to have bandwidth to actually start doing something. But what I've realized over the years, and I started some ventures, like I've started doing things, what I realized is super important to start something part-time, maybe like 30 minutes a day, then see how it progresses. And when you see certain traction, when you actually understand that, oh, I'm gonna be there even when problems happen. I'm gonna make it even if I have COVID because I'm so passionate about it. This is when you start about quitting your job. Another approach is saving up money. But again, from my experience, the first year is the hardest. So it might take you a year to get to the first revenue. It might take you a year to pivot from one business idea to another. And only after that year, you would realize, oh, okay, this is where we are. So if you're quitting your job, have enough money to support yourself for a year. If you're not quitting your job, then it might take you a while, a year or more, to actually quit it later to dedicate all of your time to your business. Now let's talk about actually starting a business. You can start with one of these three things. You can start with solving a particular problem. You can start by researching your target audience, or you can start with marketing without even having a product. I'm gonna give you an action plan for all of the three things, but first, a quick ad. When you start a new business, you're gonna face a lot of challenges. But one of the most important things is actually building systems for everything you do in your business right from the start. I can go on for hours how I used a spreadsheet to manage our client base. And when we had hundreds of customers, it was so hard to come up with a tailored offer because I didn't have any notes. I didn't have any notes of how we communicated and what they were interested in. So something I tell everyone who's asking me about starting a business these days, I say, have the systems right from the start. And investing in the right CRM solution to organize your customer relations is quite simple. There is a brand new CRM solution from Zoho called Bigin that can help you with this, and it's built exclusively for small businesses. Bigin by Zoho CRM helps businesses manage leads and contacts, track the stages of every deal, stay on top of to-dos, and keep all your interactions with your customers in one place. The thing is, if you just have this spreadsheet, it wouldn't automatically follow up with your customers. It wouldn't automatically say, happy birthday, here's your discount. You would be kind of able to group them, but those groups won't be dynamic because, for example, at LinguaTrip, we have a group of clients who's interested in learning language, but then we also have a group of clients who's interested in taking exams, a group of clients who's interested in getting masters abroad, and there are intersections between those groups, and we have different marketing materials for every single group because we don't want to burn our base with sending them endless marketing offers. We want them to be tailored. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, and this is what Bigin can help you with. Bigin is light, agile, and effortless. Anyone can set it up from scratch and get started in 30 minutes or less. If you're starting a business for the first time and you've never worked with a CRM before, don't worry, you don't need any prior experience to use Bigin. Bigin lets you pick a template that's tailor-made for your business, and you can start just like that. Bigin has multiple pipelines for business operations like sales, marketing, communications. They have a built-in telephony with an ability to purchase a toll-free number or a local number, so you could actually know that a customer is calling you and pick up the phone and say, oh, hi, James. Good to hear from you. It helps you with task management and scheduling meetings. You can create and automate workflows to easily automate many of your day-to-day tasks, and provides complete customer context from emails and calls to tweets, so you can always keep up with your customers and contacts. You can make Bigin work with almost 2,000 different apps they use every day, like Zoom, MailChimp, Google Workspace, Microsoft Office, etc. They have mobile apps for iPhone, Android. They also have a desktop app for MacBook users. It costs $7 a month per user, making it one of the most affordable CRMs ever. And they also have a forever free plan. And the best part, Silicon Valley Girl users get 50% off the purchase. Head to the link in the description box below and learn more about the offer. Okay, starting with the problem. I think this is the easiest, especially if you have this problem. And this is something that we've done with our first business. I was a student who wanted to travel abroad, realized it's super expensive. There are so many agencies doing this and they all charge like $400 for providing the service. And I was like, okay, how can I solve this problem? How can I make education abroad more accessible to people like me who don't have tens of thousands of dollars for a short trip abroad? So I started doing my research and I started exploring. And if you're starting with a problem, there is something important you need to remember. Check the market size. Because sometimes we think if we have this problem, then a lot of people actually have this problem. But sometimes you realize there is the market, and with our problem, we realized there is a market. It was like a $9 billion market, which is kind of big, but not too big for Silicon Valley. So you need to ask yourself, what is my goal, where I'm going there? Am I going to be raising money from venture capitalists, or I just want to build a lifestyle business? So I would say a $9 billion market, which is, I think, kind of shrinked with COVID, definitely. So with that kind of market, I would say it's more of a lifestyle, but it depends. And then how passionate you are about solving this problem, how passionate you are. Because sometimes you're like, oh, I have this problem, but then you solve it. It's like this thing when people go and become therapists. They actually get education just to solve their own problem. And once they get this education, they're like, oh, I don't want to work with other people. I solved my own problems. I want to move on. So don't make that mistake. Don't build something big to solve a problem for yourself, only to realize, the problem is solved now and I don't want to help other people solve the problem. And the way to test it is to actually help other people first. And this is what we did. I just started helping all of my fellow students for free and organize their trips abroad. And another question that you should ask yourself, is there a solution already and why is it not working? And here, I want you to be really self-confident. Because when I checked whether there was a solution to the problem that I mentioned, study abroad, there were hundreds of agencies just in my city alone doing that. But I was so passionate. I just felt this energy inside me and I was like, I really want to solve this problem. I can do better than them. I am different. And I didn't really know what my difference was. But I realized this energy, it can make something on the market. And this is where I want you to be more self-confident, even if you see a lot of competition, but you feel that it's you who has to solve this problem, go ahead. Because what I've learned from being in the business for over 10 years, the winner is not the one who was there first. The winner is not the one who has the most money. The winner is the one who's the most passionate about the problem, who's willing to work more hours, who's willing to come up with weird solutions, and who's willing to change the world because he's so passionate about the problem. That is the most important thing. Sometimes people take another approach. They're like, okay, I really want to be doing something for this particular target audience. This can be very tempting, especially like on YouTube. When you start a new channel, you're like, I really want to do something in finance because the CPMs are so high. It could be a strategy, but you have to, in my opinion, you have to be genuinely wanting to become a part of that audience in order to feel their problems. Or you need to work closely with someone who is part of that audience. And here I can talk about my husband, who was never really passionate about study abroad, who was never really passionate about learning languages. But he saw me being a part of that audience. He also noticed that I'm not too entrepreneurial. Like, I didn't start my own business before I met him, but he was entrepreneurial. He was like, okay, I see you part of the audience. Here's the problem. Let's fix it. So if you feel that you're an entrepreneur, but you're not that type of entrepreneur who's like, oh, I'm super passionate about, e-commerce or helping bloggers, and I don't want to become a blogger myself, but I'm a good entrepreneur. I can hire people. I can form a team. Then you need to identify who's that person who's going to be your co-founder, who feels the problem, and you will be the one building a team around them. Now, if I didn't have COVID, I would re-record this and remove whatever's there in the background. But because I have COVID, I think we're good with this background as well, right? And the last strategy I wanted to talk about in this video, it might have sounded super counterintuitive back in 2011 when I started my first business, but it's actually starting with marketing. This means starting with producing content for your target audience, building an email list, building a YouTube channel, building an Instagram account, building a TikTok account, and then figuring out what your business is. And that itself, building an audience, can become a really lucrative business. Like you see all the YouTubers bragging or sharing how much they made last year making videos on YouTube, and I made a video like that as well. And this strategy is something that you can start right away, something you can start today. And what they say in the US these days, no email list, no sales. And I believe it. So something that you can start working on right now is building your email list, identifying your target audience, thinking about the problem you can solve, and meanwhile delivering something valuable for your audience, growing it, learning it, and getting ready to start your very first business. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. I'll see you very soon in my next videos. Meanwhile, watch how much I made last year on YouTube. The link is below. See you soon. Bye-bye.